This tutorial brought to you by a comment. I'm Yanisheng, and in this tutorial, let's make a radio support unit. So what do I mean is, as you just saw, unit, in this case, my version of John Rambo, was able to use the super weapon to fire a warthog as you would the general special, which as you saw is very overpowered. You can place that anywhere on the map. Or the second way you saw it was I placed it on the ground like you would a TNT on a building, and then that would call in an airstrike. And then the third way that you saw, but it was a little hard to see, was it actually launched a little grenade that created that smoke to pop up, and then that called in a actual airstrike. And in this tutorial I will show you how to do that. It is just take some time, so let's jump right on in. Alright, so for the super weapon firing overpowered version, we are going to need to open any of the general files. I'm going to use the faction building.ini for my example. We're also going to need the command button and command set.ini, and then we're also going to lastly need the special power.ini. So step one, we are going to find our command center because we are going to add the Thunderbolt missile strike to our unit. You could find this on the USA building command center specifically, but again using the faction building, which is the vanilla building. So as you can see, this is an OCL special power module tag, and it comes with its own special power template, which is a special power.ini input, which you'll need to clone and edit later. And so what we're going to do is we're going to copy this and we're going to paste it on our unit. And as you can see here, I've already have a pasted version. Remove these upgrade OCLs because you are not going to give it an upgrade unless you want to give it an upgrade. That's up to you. So you just remove those, and that will leave with just the OCL input, which you can change yourself. You can put 2 or 3, or even go to the OCL input in general and customize your own LCL input. That's the reason why I use this, is because this is a special power input. So first we will check that out because that is something very easily to modify versus the command button aspect. So step 2, we are going to go check out our special power. As you can see, this is a 200,000 millisecond, which is 200 seconds because it's 1,000 milliseconds for 1 second. And then as you can see right here, it has required science. You need to remove this, otherwise you will need the Thunderbolt science for the unit to use this special power, which I guess could technically control it to be a little bit less overpowered, but again, you can use this to shoot anywhere on the map as long as it exists. And the unit will actually run to it too, so you can kind of like have them come in right in afterwards. It's kind of funny. Alright, and then in step 3, I want you to remember from step 2 this required science aspect. When we go into our command buttons and we look for our, not our purchase science, but our special power to fire the special power. And again, remember I said the science, you need to either change or remove the science. You can just put a semicolon there. But additionally, as you can see right here, if you decided to change the special science as in clone it and create a new input, you'll need to change that input here also to match the same input that is on the unit itself. So you see in this case it won't fire if I was to put that command button on my unit because the special power template is not the same. The OCL does not matter in this case because it's not part of the button itself. So you just remove the science, make sure the powers are the same, or if you want to change the science, again you can put multiple inputs as you can see right here. That's pretty much it because all you got to do then is put it on the actual unit right here, and that will allow you to use your overpowered airstrike or power drop or whatever else you want to put in there. Alright, now so the second style we're going to go over is TNT firing. This is the same way that the rebels would put a bomb, or the China puts a TNT, or rather technically the way that I did this was more like Colonel Burton's C4. So what we're going to do actually, because that's actually what we're going to copy, is we're going to go to our Colonel Burton unit and we're going to go to our C4. In this case I just used the remote charges. And we're going to copy over both of these special ability module tags. You have to make sure that it is this version and then it is this longer version. So even if you make a mistake and you're not sure if you have all the code, if you go a little bit further for the time charges, you'll see that this is also two different module tag codes. And that's just the way that this particular type of coding works. It is two separate module tags to help it fire. But the important part is to remember that they also have the same special power template, which in this case works as the firing rate for this particular ability. So after you copy that and rename it, remember, don't forget to change the special power template because that will dictate any sciences and the timing that you're allowed to use this actual ability. Because remember, it's the C4 ability of Colonel Burton. So the only thing you have to change is right here, this special object. And this special object dictates a lot of the behavior that goes on. So what I did was I modified the C4. So if we just go to the weapon object for the C4, we will find a code that is very similar to this. Specifically, the only code or module tag that I added to it, I did remove a few things for looks purposes, was this one right here. This is what creates the actual object to call in the paradrop. And again, go to my modding manual to find this code to make it a lot easier for you. I just created a simple weapon that all it does is create this object right here. And that is the paradrop beacon, which again I have in my weapon object. The paradrop beacon is actually what calls actual OCL, in this case the paradrop beacon object creation list input, which is just a paradrop input. As you can see, it has two payloads, and so all I really did was I switched out the slow death behavior module tag for the fire weapon update module tag. And then obviously for our C4 version, we're just going to add in the command button for the remote C4. Don't forget to change the special power button. And the last version is the weapon set firing version, which has similarities to the TNT version, which is the reason why I showed you the TNT version first. So we're just going to need the weapon.ini, the weapon object, and object creation list, because obviously the creation list is going to be where you choose the actual what comes down with your support. Alright, so if we go back to our Colonel Burton, or in my case, my John Rambo unit, we will go to the weapon set, and as you can see on my tertiary shot, I have the Warthog airstrike weapon. What is the Warthog weapon, you asked? That is the weapon that you saw. So all it does is it's just a little shot that actually just releases this object right here. This object you can find, again, in the modding manual. I have it in my weapon object because it's a weapon object, and it's just a modified version of a tank shell input, I believe, or the flashbang, I forget exactly. Yeah, the flashbang, because it arcs. The added aspect to it is the create object die module tag. This creates a special beacon which creates another object, and that object calls in the actual airstrike itself. And as you can see, this is it's two Warthogs that come in. Alright, that brings us to the end of this modding tutorial. If you have any questions, comments, feel free to leave them below. If you have any issues, feel free to comment them. Don't forget to look in the modding manual. In fact, I am already writing it up as we speak. So yeah, by the time you see this video, you should be able to just head on over there and copy and paste anything you need. So yeah, I'll see you around. If you got any questions, drop a tutorial idea below, and hey, as I said, this is a YouTuber comment, so this could be you. This could be your tutorial. Again, don't forget that you have a Discord, and again, you can find it in the link in the description below, so see you around, and thank you. Happy holiday, Merry Christmas, and Happy Easter, and see you around.